Hi, I'm Nigel the Shanghai Psychic. I can tune into your loved ones in the spirit world, but I can also tune into you, tell you about your path and the choices that you need to make and need to know. I'm currently giving 30% discount on all Tell Craig Your Story listeners. Just use the code Tell Craig Your Story for 30% off your first psychic reading with me online at Nigel the Shanghai Psychic.
Hey, I'm Yvan from Stevans, and you're listening to Tell Greg Your Story podcast.
Watching me, you see I'll always be only a word away. But that night, I packed my heart and eyes and skied into the dark. Don't wanna watch me go. I'm okay, finding a way, learning how to live at my own pace. I'm not looking for any new thing, so how did this get through? Because I like you, and now that you're in, you take my stupid heart back to begin. And I like you, with no guarantee. This isn't just some trick to rescue me, 'cause I like you. We're moving fast, does this thing have to last? I'd rather be alone than with you on your phone. Late at night, you wanna pick a fight, but you like half asleep. Just let it be, because I like you, and now that you're in, you take my stupid heart back to begin. And I like you, with no guarantee. This isn't just some trick to rescue me, 'cause I like you. Come on, rescue me. It's you. You know that I like you. Come on, rescue me. It's you. You know that I like you. And now that you're in, you take my stupid heart back to begin. And I like you, with no guarantee. This isn't just some trick to rescue me, 'cause I like you.
Alright, that was You by the Switzerland band Stevans, and we are lucky enough to have the lead singer of the Stevans, Yvan, on the podcast today. This was recorded one day after the official release of this single, You, and the Stevans just come back from a 2-week tour of China. Yvan is back in Switzerland now. I was lucky enough to see Stevans play in Shanghai. That was an amazing show. And in the video, I'll be able to show you some of the clips that I took. Now, the band released their first EP in 2005. And since then, they've recorded 4 albums. And they've toured all around the world. But before we go, please go to our website. We're at Podbean. Tell Craig your story at podbean.com. We have a link tree there which tells you where Tell Craig Your Story podcast is streaming. We are on all the major streaming services. We also have a YouTube account. Make sure you're subscribing and liking to get all the latest updates. For our Chinese listeners, we have WeChat and Little Red Book. And for our Russian listeners, we have VK. All right, here we go. This is my chat with Yvan from Stevans on Tell Craig Your Story podcast. Hi, Yvan. How you doing today? Tonight?
I'm very fine. Yeah, it's this afternoon in Switzerland. It is 4 p.m. and I guess for you it's like what, 11 p.m. in Shanghai, something like this?
11 p.m. So thank you very much for your time again. First off, brand new single come out yesterday. You.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you, Craig. We're very excited about this new single.
Has this been a long time coming, this single? Were you waiting until you finished the China tour before you released this single?
Yeah, absolutely. We decided about 6 months ago that we, it had been 1 year that we didn't release anything. So now we've been playing with this drummer that you saw also in Shanghai, and he was rearranging many of our songs for the live sessions, right?
Right.
And we kind of really loved the way he was working. So we asked him, let's release a new EP together, and you will produce the song from scratch, rather than doing an adaptation, of the songs for the live. And so we actually started with this song called You. So we recorded it 6 months ago. And it's very nice, because You is this kind of songs that you can have for maybe years in your, just a little demo in your iPhone or something like this I recorded with a little shitty guitar, almost on the beach, but I always thought, there's a catchy melody. So what are we going to do with it? And then that's it, you present it to a guy like a Jay, and he starts to have a little bit fun, play with the arrangements, and also respect the melody that was already there in the beginning. So yeah, right. We're very excited. It's the first song of this new EP that is going to be released in 2025. It's the first song released.
Is there a date for that to come out?
Absolutely not. This is the advantage of being an independent artist. We have we can decide whenever we want, but of course we want to be coherent with this, relevant. That's the way business work now, with all these Spotify and digital platform. You need to release songs every 2 months or whatsoever to stimulate and feed the fucking algorithm that everybody hates. Because honestly, let's say it, fuck the algorithm,
Yes.
But until you fuck the algorithm until the day the algorithm really puts you in the front and makes you a star.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And then you're loving it. But don't you think that entices the bands more to go out and play live?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this is really the main thing, and of course, I mean, what's the bottom line of releasing a new song? It is to go live and play them in front of people and watch the people sing the lyrics. I mean, this is all the work that we are doing, all the thousands of kilometers of miles, all the sleepless nights that we're doing.
Yes.
It's all about this little hour on stage,
Yeah.
That is a bit like a drug.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of the thousands and thousands of miles, we met in Shanghai on your recent China tour. And then with the show that I saw, it was more of a stripped down. It was actually at a nightclub. So it wasn't like the normal drums, guitar, bass, keyboards, vocals. So is that difficult for you to strip that down and have like an electronic drum beat?
It's okay, and we realized also with the experience that we had in different countries or even in Switzerland that sometimes the venue doesn't have space or the material or the gear to welcome a full band, with the drums, etc. So it's also good to have this alternative to have a DJ set. But what you saw in Shanghai, of course, like playing in a techno club
Yes,
at midnight on a Monday, or was it Tuesday evening,
Tuesday
is
night.
a little bit strange, So we thought, okay, we're in Shanghai, 20 million people. I don't know how many people there are there. How many people there are in Shanghai? Do you know, by the way?
25 million.
Okay, it's just 5 million more. It's
Yes,
okay.
that's right. Yeah.
But we thought, okay, who knows? Maybe on Tuesday in a 25 million people city, it's gonna be all right. But no, it was okay. It is also hard for the booker because we were there in China for 2 weeks and a half. So sometimes, the best moments are in the real clubs in the weekend. This is really where it happens. But
Yes.
the booker also has to try to fit you in some
Yeah.
places, so you don't have too many days off. But it was a good experience. But to really answer your question, having this opportunity to do also the electro set is nice. But of
Yeah.
course, it's just another proposition. The best shows that we have is the full band with Jan playing the guitar, Jay playing the drums, and I sing and I play bass and keyboard. This is really when you feel the vibe. So I
Yeah.
hope you're going to be able to see us next time we
Yes.
come to
I'm sure we
Shanghai.
will.
Definitely, we're coming back.
Well, like you said, you're coming back, and then it's not the first time you've been to Shanghai, right? I do believe you come last year as well.
Yeah, it's a special thing we have in China because, long story short, in 2019 we were invited by all the Swiss embassies and
Oh,
and
yes,
uh,
right.
and they yeah, they were organizing a francophonie, like French speaking country festival with
Right.
Canada, Quebec, the French part, Belgium, France, and Switzerland. So
Right.
we did a 10 gig tour, and the sound engineer that they hired for this tour to take care of us, of our sound, is also the sound engineer of many other Chinese artists. Among
Ah,
them is this woman called Chang Xiang. Her surname is Rose, and she is the disco queen in China,
right.
and she's very, very popular since decade. So he thought, oh, our sound, Stevans sound, sounds a bit disco-ish sometime. Maybe I could make her listen to it, and see what she thinks about. So
Yes.
in the beginning, it was like supposed maybe to do a little collaboration on one song, but eventually she bought the right to sing 20 of our songs.
Right.
So it kind of really, and it was just before the pandemic. So then we started to communicate for two years, 3 years, until 2000, until last year.
Right.
It was great because last year she invited us to play to open for her show, and yeah, we were playing in like 5,000 people venue. Yeah, it was really, really nice, and she's really nice, and her whole team is amazing. And this year, just before we were in Shanghai, we were in Suzhou, where the Montreux Jazz Festival China
Right.
takes
Right.
place. And so we played there 2 shows, 2 nights. And the first night we invited her, the disco queen, to join us on stage to sing three of our songs. So
I
we
saw
we
the
still
video
got a
of
lot
that.
of things to do. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, did you? Yeah.
yeah, I saw the video of you and her doing, well, actually talking before the show and then doing one of the songs. And how was
Right.
your Chinese, but because there was a song that you were singing in Chinese, right?
Yeah, there's this song. I don't know what's the exact name, but it's a song from the 80s. That is super
Oh, right.
popular because
Yeah.
actually in 2019 already, I asked some people in the Swiss embassy, would you advise me like a song that all the Chinese people know, and they really
Oh,
pointed
yeah.
this. I like to do this as much as I can when we go to countries like we were in South America, just to learn one or two songs from the country and try to sing it in the
Right.
original language. But you know better than me that Chinese is definitely tough for us. You have all these
Yes.
accents, and so the first time I sang this song, I was like, oh my God, I hope my pronunciation is good and that I don't say like a dangerous thing, like.
Yes, yes. Because
No, no, it's really nice.
it's so simple to just the tone of the word. It can
Oh
mean
yeah,
something completely different. 4 different tones for
yeah.
one word. Yeah.
It's a crazy language. And, I think it's good enough so that the Chinese people understand what I'm saying, And there's always this, when I start to sing, there's always like 3-4 second where the Chinese audience, they are like, what is he doing? Is he singing in Chinese? And then they understand it's this song, So you can see
Got
their
it.
faces, like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
smiley. It's really a great feeling.
So cool. And
Yeah.
when you come last year and this year, how was the Chinese fans reacting to your shows?
It's always great, I mean, it's now the fourth or fifth time we're coming back to China. So
Right.
I guess it's a sign that we are having a super
Yeah.
cool connection with Chinese audience. But of course, a lot of things to do. Yeah, I don't know. There is something special with the Chinese audience. The first time we were in China, we thought, okay, let's see how this country is.
Hmm.
To be honest, China was not a country where I would just spontaneously take a ticket to say, hey, where I'm going to go this summer on holidays
Exactly.
in China. Maybe
Yeah.
not. That's why we keep on repeating to our fellow friends in Switzerland.
Yeah.
It is China. When you go to China, there's just this vibe that is
Yes.
so different. I don't know how you feel about it, Craig, but we feel when we are in China that we are a little bit in a parallel universe, like in a bubble or something.
Yes. My mum and my sister come a couple of years ago, and
Right.
they went, oh, now I understand why you go back and live in Shanghai. They
Right.
don't understand. There's a lot of people and a lot of my friends, they just don't understand about the country. But when they
Yeah.
come here and experience it, they want to come back. I
Yeah.
think I wanted to talk to you about you were doing a jam on the street with some elderly Chinese people. Tell us about this.
Yeah. Yeah, we were doing this interview with TV channel called TMS Shanghai. It's
Oh,
more
yes.
like a you know them?
Yeah, of course. I just saw radio
Ah.
today.
Since we were in Shanghai, we're like, oh, let's do an interview. So we went to this place. Oh God, I don't remember.
The
You
ring?
you can there's the whole, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
like all these burger roller skater with Stranger Things decoration, and
Yes.
really cool
Yes.
place. And then after they said, okay, why don't we go to this park and see what we can do. So at the beginning we were supposed to go just to like play a song or whatsoever, and then eventually we saw these elder people dancing. Like there's a lot of people like this in China in the street, and we joined
Yes.
them. Like, okay, what is going to happen? There was another guy playing with a saw.
Yes.
So it's, yeah, crazy. We had fun. This is this little improvisation moment where you don't know
Yes.
what's gonna happen, and
Yeah. And you could see everybody get their cameras out, like other people going past going, who are these guys? They must be popular
yeah.
then.
Yeah. That's the funny thing, and also the cool thing about China, I think, is that even in very big famous cities like Shanghai, there's not a lot of white folks in the street. I kind of like this feeling because
Yeah.
it enhances the fact that you are really in another, a bit in another world. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So
And you said you've
yeah.
got plans to come back next year. Is that confirmed yet, or are you still working out the details?
No, it's not confirmed, because but we have a lot of good relation, and so I mean this is something that has to be built, but it's also going to be the 75th year birthday of the relationship of official good relationship between Switzerland and China,
Wow, there you go.
so I guess there might be also some interesting things to do. I'd like to come back and play again with this Disco Queen, because it's nice to
Yes,
play in front of 5,000 people,
that's
and
right. That's right.
yeah, you know what I mean. But really, Shanghai, and we'll of course we'll keep in touch, especially also if you know TMS, Craig. This is really
Yes.
cool. That was just my little frustration for this tour. It was that okay, Shanghai, great, but we play in this electro club that was a little bit. I'm sure there's a lot of other great places where we can do
Oh,
proper
yes.
gigs, right, in Shanghai.
Yeah. The live house.
Yeah,
There's plenty of places. So I'm sure next time we'll work something out for you, and you'll have a
yeah. We can
yeah.
also share a stage with you guys, since
Yes,
you tell me
absolutely.
that you play. What
Yes.
are your bands? I mean,
Uh,
what type of music do you do with your two bands?
so I've got two bands. One's called Jen's Curfew, and we actually
Right.
won best live band in Shanghai for this year at the
Oh
That
my
Shanghai
God.
Awards. Yeah, we're getting a bit of a name for ourselves here. We're a six-piece: saxophone, guitar, a guy that plays guitar, and then we've got Jen, and then I play drums.
You call that guitar?
Yeah, we've got a guitar
Okay.
player.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Hey, it makes
uh,
sense. It makes.
yeah, I play in like a punk rock band, and we've been playing a Green Day set the last couple of shows. So, but we
Ooh,
also
so cool, man.
so I noticed that you play left-handed as well. Us
Yeah,
fellow
man.
left-handed as well. How did you pick it up?
Yeah, absolutely natural. I think my parents tried to make me write with the right hand, but they quickly
Right.
understood that it was hopeless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad nobody forced me to change. I have a friend who is definitely left-handed, but he forced himself learning
Wow.
guitar, like a right-handed, but I could see always, les lacunes, how do you say, that he was not accomplished, because he forced himself to change the
Yeah.
way he was
Right.
playing.
Yeah. So it's not
But of course,
natural.
it is a problem, because when you
Uh,
go in a guitar shop, it's like you want to eat sushis, but there's only burger restaurants on the planet.
That's yes.
It's a little bit yeah, if you want to try a guitar, if I want to try a guitar, I have to buy it, because there's
Yeah. That's it.
no guitars and left-handed guitar in the shop. But
Well.
to
Oh,
make myself feel okay, I say to myself, yeah, but Kurt Cobain, Paul
Jimi Hendrix.
McCartney, and Jimi Hendrix are left-handed, so
Yeah.
be happy.
That's right. One
Yeah.
thing that I tried to be like Jimi Hendrix, but I hated the knobs being up there where your palm.
Yeah.
So getting a left-handed guitar obviously was more natural, but you'd have to pick a right-handed guitar and go, okay, add $2,000 to that, and then it'll be here in 6 weeks' time.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So you were born in Switzerland. Whereabouts were you born? What city?
I was born in Geneva.
Okay, so
Geneva, the French part of Switzerland.
So on stage, you're very flamboyant, energetic. You got a real good natural frontman personality style. Was that
Mhm.
always the case growing up as a kid as well? Did you have that really confidence to go up and speak in class and be confident?
I think I always was a little bit of the joker, like
Right.
I would call it the friendly rebel. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Like I don't always give a shit about class and all, but I'm not going to destroy the class as well. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I think it grows a little bit, little by little,
Hmm.
and I started to play the drums like you by I mean, not like you, maybe with the style, with the because of the same inspiration. But when I started to hear Metallica and all, I was
Yes.
air drumming in my room. And then after I discovered Guns N' Roses, and I was sure that I could play his Slash's solo very quickly. And of course,
Right.
I I realized quickly was not the case. Then after I started to listen to Oasis and Coldplay, I wanted to be a singer, and little by little, I put my guitar on the guitar stand to just sing, because we were doing a little bit more electro things. So I think
Yeah.
the frontman attitude and all came little by little.
Right.
It's not just by pushing a button, but yeah, I think it's we have our personalities, and I like to be in the front, and sometimes it's nice for the people around, and sometimes they just want to tell me shut the fuck up.
And were your family in the entertainment industry as well? Were they playing music or?
No, my mother plays cello, but it's like
Oh
really
yes.
amateur cello. But it's nice because she was the one pushing me to, take piano lesson and all when I was really, really young. But
Right.
my father was a Swiss ambassador, so he was a
Oh,
diplomat.
right.
So that's why we lived in different countries from age 0 until the age of 17.
Right.
So I was born in Geneva, but it was when my parents were living in ex-Yugoslavia. Then after we went to Democratic Republic of Congo, then Indonesia, Greece, and
Oh wow.
Morocco. And then after, yeah, and then after my father was like retired, so we were in Switzerland. We came back to Switzerland, to
Right.
Geneva.
So
So that's why also I push with the music, to go abroad as much as possible. Music can also
yeah.
be a great tool to have this traveling feeling, this adaptation feeling, this where am I? All the smells in the streets are different. Feeling this, um, I don't have the same pasta sauce that I buy in my grocery shop, but it's okay. I'm going to change my, my habits and everything.
Yes. So what was
Mm.
the music scene like then in Geneva, and what's the music scene now? How has that changed?
The quality of the music in Geneva, and I guess all around the world, really got better, much better right now. Also, and especially also, I think because of the tool, that the musician have. You don't need to go in an
Yes.
amazing studio anymore to have a great sound. In Switzerland, the medias and the festivals and all that sometimes a little bit too focused about on the identity of the artists, and
Right.
a lot of the artists is like, oh, okay, the themes of my lyrics is that I've been raped when I was 4, and
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna
right.
kill myself and everything, and I feel sorry for these artists, of course, but sometimes we realize for our type of music where it's like, hey guys, let's have fun. If you come
Yeah.
and see a Stevans show, it's to be entertained. If you are having a bad day and you come to see our show, we guarantee you that in the end of the show you will go back with a smile. It feels
Absolutely.
like festivals and all in Switzerland are sometimes a little bit less focused on this, just because of the cool image of being like alternative. I'm just a bit dark and fuck
Yes.
this. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why we also like to go abroad, and but of course it doesn't mean we do not play in Switzerland. We love playing in Switzerland, but
Yeah.
sometimes
You've got to.
it can be a little bit harder, and you have to push the people also to, hey, like we always have this feeling that if you can make Swiss people dance, you can make the whole world dance. You
Oh,
know what I
that's
mean?
right. That's interesting. Because when I think of Switzerland and that sort of part of the world, I think more predominantly heavy metal and black metal and that sort of stuff. But obviously not now. Like, you're the second band in recent times coming to China, you and Sophie Duquay, who we've had on as well, and they're your friends. So again, a very small world. So you said that you've also got a show coming up there in Switzerland next month or this month, right?
The next Thursday, November 28th, we play in a club called the Cave du Bleu Lézard in Lausanne, and then in January 23rd we play a place called Cercle des Bains in Geneva. A very nice place. It's also good, to reconnect with the people here in Switzerland, and it's going to be great. I think the mix between traveling and being also at home, and it's really nice. We discovered also with this 2.5 week tour that was really intense in China, because we were in like 8 or 9 different cities. You realize how much it's a job, and why some bands, all the bands are having tour manager. They're having all these crew with them,
Yes,
because it's a big job. It's a big job.
Yeah,
but it's great.
Is your crew big, or is it just a small crew that you have going?
Very small crew, very small crew. We try to do our best, to sound and to give an image, of a big band, but we do a lot of on our own, during this Chinese tour. The fourth member of Stevans, who is the sound tech, called Eric, his father passed away 1 week before the tour. So thank God our drummer Jay is also a sound tech, so he could deal also with this. But when he's on the drums, he cannot be in the front house, to check the sound. So it was kind of intense. But usually with a good guy like Damon, a tour manager following us, helping with the merchandising and everything else, and the sound tech, we always manage pretty well.
Yeah, right. And speaking of your drummer, he actually sung 2 songs at that show that we had. He's really good.
He's really good.
And he said it was his first time that he'd sung with Steve.
He's got his own project called Zila, and when we realized that in Shanghai it would be an electro show and not a full band show, I told him, Jay, we have 8-9 electro, Stevans song that is built for the electro duo, but would you like to sing some of your songs, because I think they're pretty good? And he was like, yeah, okay, with pleasure. So it was the first time he was playing this song with us. And we had another show in Macau, also in a electro club. Right. So we did it again like this, like we play a few songs, then after he plays, and it's nice. And I think the combination, maybe you would be it's more your role to to tell me, but I thought the combination between Stevans and him was kind of cool, interesting. Two proposition. He's a bit more R&B, stuff like that.
Yes.
We are more like a pop,
Because I remember talking to him before that show, and he said he's very, very nervous about doing this. He said, I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm really nervous.
Well, that's good. When the artist tells you, it's gonna be amazing, don't trust him. It's good that an artist doubts.
That's right. Yeah.
If you don't doubt anymore and you're not scared anymore before you go on stage, then maybe it's time to quit.
That's right. But you still played my favorite song, "Glamorous Night." So that is awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, you still played that, even though without the drums as well. But that was still pretty cool. And I did a video, and you said to me, you kept calling me Australia every time you walk past. Australia. Hello, Australia.
Australian man.
Yeah, that's
Do
right.
you know? It's really you. I really love the Australian accent. I have to say, I've been watching this guy on Netflix recently, a comedy special of Jim Jeffries. Do you know the guy?
Oh yes, yes. He's very funny.
He's trash. He's
Oh
trash, but
yes,
he's very
yes,
funny. He
yes.
plays with it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you're speaking of Australia. Is there any tour plans to go to Australia? Have you visited Australia before?
Oh my God, no, no, but it's definitely on my to-do list. Absolutely. But
We've got to get
yeah,
you. We've got
I
to get you
mean,
down there.
oh
My
yeah,
my.
man. I mean, great. Well, if you have any plans to do a nice little tour there, we would be more than happy. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
great. I mean, to be playing your music and also discover and visit new countries.
Oh, absolutely.
Australia
And then
seems to be amazing, really.
yeah. So I also read somewhere that 2005. So did you have any other bands before this, or is this actually your first sort of try to get a band going? And how did you meet the rest of the guys? How did you meet Jan?
Yeah, I played with other bands before. I was a bass player for a band. I was like a drummer for another band. I was just trying some stuff and
Mm.
making some experiences. But then
Yeah.
after I created this band, Stevans, and but first for the 8 first years, I was playing with two other guys, a drummer and a bass player called Bruno and John, and the guy were older than me, so and then after they had kids, so it was kind of hard for them, to keep on playing, doing these tours and everything. But
Mm.
we had amazing years with his I call it a bit like the Old Testament and the New Testament of
Right.
Stevans.
Yes.
And then in 2013 or 12 or 13, Jan, my guitar player, he saw us, playing on a stage on a festival, and he sent a like a spontaneous offer letter, like saying that, oh, I really liked your show, but maybe you are just one guitar, maybe another guitar would, like help you to have a tougher sound. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's
I
kind of
remember that.
right. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we I met the guy and I thought, oh my God, he's got a great style. Even if I haven't heard him play the guitar, but even if he's bad, he's got a good style. So let's make him join the band.
Yeah.
And then after that, this we played with many different musicians.
Yeah.
We met, we did this electro duet for 2 years because we were going quite many times in South America, and we thought, okay, we have to find
Oh,
a solution to have this fat sound, but without having a whole crew with us. So we did for 2 years like the electro duo lineup. And then after these 2 years, we thought, okay, we would like to play again with a drummer. And this is how a friend of mine recommended me, Jay, who joined the band. So we are
taken
with
away.
Jay
Yeah.
since 2 years, and Jan joined the Stevans project, yeah, more than 10 years ago.
So, like, your first EP was 2005,
Yeah.
and I also read there that you were saying that that was around the time of the MySpace era. That was very hot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. MySpace. Crazy
What
time.
happened to
Crazy
that?
time. God, I
Everybody had
think I read
MySpace. That
something.
was
Yeah,
the biggest thing.
everybody had MySpace.
Yeah.
There was already these guys, telling you, oh, I can make you have like 5,000 followers if you pay me 300
All
bucks or
right.
something like this. Yeah, it was already the beginning of
Wow.
fake followers and
That
all
was.
this shit.
Yeah.
But that's a great question. How did it? Do you know how it failed finally? Why?
I
But of
think the
course, there
guy.
was Facebook
I,
arrived and all. But.
I think he got bought out, and then once they got bought out, then they just sort of phased it out. I think you still can go. I haven't checked it for a couple of years, but the last time you can still go onto the MySpace page, and check up all these
Yeah.
people, and you go, oh my God, look at those photos.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
It's crazy.
uh,
We talk
it's just
about
like
it like
another,
it's weird. It's another era.
yeah, 2005. The Reversal was your first EP. So
Yeah.
were they the first songs that you had before? Like, were you playing these songs for a couple of years before you actually did that recording?
It was just studio version of the demos that I was recording with a little 4-track recorder,
Right.
but I was doing all the instruments, the drums, the bass, the guitar,
Oh yeah, right.
and the voice. Yeah, yeah, it was really nice, and I was discovering, the delay effect on the guitar.
Oh
I
yes.
I bought one delay pedal, and so I was putting delay everywhere, apart from the drum. Yeah, and then it went quite quickly because we had this song called Monday's Wedding that was really, I was really in my, do you know the band called Travis from
Yes.
Scotland?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was into my Travis Stereophonics Oasis
Yes.
moment, and
Yes.
there's this song called Monday's Wedding that is really, I mean, the production and all is clearly inspired by this, but it was
Mm.
really, really radio friendly, so there's like a very, very cool radio in Switzerland called Couleur 3, Color 3, if you want. Yeah, they started to airplay this song, and it started to
Oh.
open many doors in Switzerland. So that was the beginning of the whole thing, and it was a crazy moment because I was hesitating between doing music and or comedy.
I saw
I
that.
was in France also to do like a comedy
Set.
exam, to enter
Oh
in a
right.
school very known in France called Les Cours Florent. And I was
Right.
saying to myself, okay, if we win this prize with Stevans with our demo to have a financial help to record our first EP, the Reversal EP, if we win this, I will stay in Switzerland and focus on music. If we don't, I'll go in Paris to do the comedy thing. And so
Yeah,
we won the
right.
prize, and then I decided to stay and focus on music. But yeah,
Yeah, right. That's really interesting because I did see
yeah.
a video of one of your sets, and you had like a little guitar there as well. You're singing a song there.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with that? Is that something that come naturally to you, being a funny guy, like a comedian?
Being a funny guy. Yeah, one day I woke up, decided I'm going to be funny. No, as always, you need to try stuff, But
Yeah.
on my side, it was always like the people around, like say friends saying, "Oh, God, Ivan, when are you going to try a little bit of stand up?" And I was like, "But no, it's like, okay, it's easy to make the friend joke in a comic situation, in a party. Okay, you're going to react or about this and make joke, but create something from scratch to make people that you don't know laugh was a very different exercise. But it's a very, very good feeling. I was doing some
Yeah.
a stand-up stage and in front of like the 30, 40 people that are really close to you, sitting on a chair and waiting like
Wow.
this. Okay, make us laugh,
Yeah.
and my heart was beating, even if I had like years of experience with the music stage, and Stevans.
Yeah.
I was like, why am I doing this to me, But thank God it went pretty well most of the time. And so I was like, oh yeah, that's it's another challenge. But I had one evening where I remember where I don't know, I think I just wanted to do too many different themes, with the jokes.
Yeah.
And the like we say in French, la sauce n'a pas pris, the mayonnaise didn't get fat,
Right.
it was not working at all, and the silence there, they can be very, very hard, because
Oh
the longer
yes.
the silence are, the
Yes.
more stressed you are, the more stressed you are, the longer the silence are, and it's a vicious circle. But this is life, this is great experience,
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to come and see that as well now. I'm very intrigued now. I'm gonna see if I
Yeah,
can
I'm
dig up
doing
some.
I'm doing a comedy special in Shanghai in Chinese in 1 month. If you want to
Now that'd be
imagine
funny.
the guy, really.
So you said that you're still an independent band, but when did you, being in an independent band, how financial is it? How do you have to still have a part-time job to still finance, recording sessions and playing live?
It depends on the moments. Now it's been years that I only focus on the artistic part, but I
Yeah.
need to have some other jobs. Like for example, yeah, I'm next month I'm playing in a burlesque show
Oh,
as a
nice.
master of ceremony and also singing, a bit like cabaret stuff. Um,
Mm.
so this is going to pay the bills. I'm also doing voices for advertising. Sometimes
Oh, nice.
these pay the bill. Sometimes I was giving a music lesson, but it of course since 2005, I've been also sometimes obliged to work like I would say normal job, office job,
Mm. Right.
usually part time, which is not bad, sometimes because it just gives you a little bit of rhythm, like you have to,
Yeah.
do this job every morning or work 3 days in an office, but it's okay. Or of course, when you release new song, well, you have all these bills that you have to pay to do the production and everything,
Yes.
and then after it opens some door to play at festivals, so then you can get some money. But it's always, yeah.
But having that financial stability now, it gives you that more freedom to be a bit more creative. Has the creative process changed from 2005 to how you write a
Oh
song
yeah.
now?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't smoke pots anymore, so that's the first part of the. uh,
that sort of opens up
um,
the mind, doesn't it?
yeah, man, but I don't know. It's just I don't I had never had problem with pots or whatsoever. But you grow up and eventually you realize that you don't need it and all. But in the beginning, I was a bit scared. I was like, oh shit, the two first album of Stevans was I really wrote these ideas while I was a little bit stoned. And now I'm not smoking pots anymore. What I'm going to sing like songs for
Yeah.
kids or boring stuff. And this is how I wrote the Frozen song. Libéré, délivré. I would be a billionaire right now.
Yes.
No, but the creative process is very different now because before, back in 2005, we were meeting with my two fellow musicians 4 times a week in the rehearsal
Right.
room, to try some. Usually, I was having ideas, and then they would like help me, arrange it and everything.
Is
The
it a
the
riff or a melody, or how do you start it
Yeah,
off?
like a riff or melody or few chords, and I was sing like we say in French, yogurt. You just say some words, just to have the melody.
Yeah.
And then they were coming and having their fresh ear and like, oh yeah, so maybe we could do this. It was a great period regarding the creation process.
Yeah.
Now it's just different. I also have to focus more on all the co-management thing for the band, all
Oh
the
yeah. Right.
administrative thing, like because we've had record deals, we've had managers. We still got a manager now called JC, but he's more taking care of the contract and stuff like this. But
Right.
the whole decision and the finance, we do it on our own. So
Right.
it's taking a lot of time and energy that we don't put in the songwriting process. So
Yes.
therefore, we decide sometimes, okay, during this period, we're only going to focus on this because as for any independent jobs in the world, it is great freedom, but it's also great responsibility as well.
Yeah.
Because if you don't
Uh,
do anything, you don't receive your salary in the end of the month.
That's right. And you know what? There's a lot of bands in Australia are doing the same as what you're doing. They're on this record deal and they spend 3 or 4 years on there. They've got to make 3 or 4 albums and they've got to sell X amount of copies. So a lot of the bands now are going independent, just like yourself, because they have that freedom and the flexibility and the decision making, rather than having like 3 or 4 different people making decisions for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know, I mean, it's great to have a good record deal with a great label, because they're gonna put the money on the table to help you
Yes.
become big, you know, but they can also make you have some nightmare. I was having a deal with a French publisher that just didn't give a fuck after 1 year, and I was like, you
Yeah,
know,
right.
this guy has my songs in his hand, and I put all my soul, my energy in these songs, and
Yeah.
now the guy just disappears like this. So from that moment, I decided, okay, this is the last time I'm going to give the responsibility of something to you know, to a
Yeah.
publisher, and all
Yeah.
these guys. But
It's a great idea.
yeah, but it's more work, but it's great to be independent.
Yes,
So
that's right. Yeah.
there's no amazing A solution or B solution. One of them is amazing. No, you know, it's like in life in general. There's a balance, and there's advantages and disadvantages in every situation. You just got to find what's best for you. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
it
And
sounds a little
then
bit cheesy what I'm saying, right?
no, but it's true, bro. It's absolutely true.
You know,
So,
nothing is impossible. You know, and just believe in yourself, and you know, like
you've turned it into a motivational speaker now.
yeah, you know, and
Put
just
your hat on. The
breathe,
motivational
breathe.
speaker, the comedian, the musician.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Another job.
So yeah, going through the albums here, 2010, Fake, 2014, Breakup. So are you drawing inspirational from personal experiences, or do you take it back and use it as a metaphor?
No, I think there's no rule for all the songs. You know, some of the songs are
Pretty open?
autobiographical, you know. They really talk about my experience and all. I'm really attracted to by the relationship between people. You know, that's really the
Yes.
biggest theme. So some of the songs talk about some people that I know, or just a situation that I would imagine. Also, recently I challenged myself to write a song about describing what I'm seeing, you know, and what I'm feeling this moment. But I love also the metaphors, you know, like
Yes.
this
Kind of what?
weekend, the weekend. I can feel myself when I'm with you, you know. And you think he talks about a lady or whatsoever, but he talks about cocaine, you know. And
Yes.
yeah, I love this kind of this metaphor. And I work very closely with a guy called Andrew Phillips. He's a friend of mine, and he's from South Africa, and
Right.
therefore he's there also, you know, to help me with the English, because as you can hear, it's not my mother tongue, you know. So I
Right.
have all
Right.
these ideas and this draft of songs, and then we work on it together, you know, to make something like really tight, you know, with the English.
That's very interesting. Like the last album was Renaissance in
Yeah,
2019. Since 2019, you haven't brought out another album, right?
exactly.
Why
Oh, it
is
was
that?
just
Like,
like, you know,
I mean, you've
the,
got a bunch of singles that you've had out. Is that just the way because of the downloading and the streaming? Is that what's happened? Like,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. You know what? We have this album Renaissance, and the fifth song called Frère Astaire, right? So we released the album in 2019, and then 2 years after this, we just rearrange a little bit Fred Astaire. You know, it's called Fred Astaire Rework, and then we publish it
Right.
as a single. But the song already existed on the album, and many of our followers were like, "Oh, this is a great new song," and we were like,
Oh,
"But this song was in the album,
it's on
so
the album.
obviously
Yeah.
people just listen to the singles that we put
Singles.
on up front, you know, singles, but not the
Mm.
rest of the album." So we were like, "Fuck it, you know, we're just going to record singles one after the other, do a
Yeah.
video, and also it was a great time because we could try some different sound as well, you know."
Yeah.
So
Right.
we had the very pop song, we have the very disco song, we had the very acoustic song, and stuff like this. So that's why 6 months ago we were like, okay, now it's the time, that to release at least a new EP.
Right.
That's a good. I mean,
And
it's
then
the
is that
new format.
four tracks, 5 tracks on the EP?
Yeah, 4 tracks, 4 tracks.
4 tracks. Okay, great. Now that you have all these singles, then how are you putting a set together?
Well, it's really about well, for example, now this past tour that we did in China, we played the 4 new songs, because they
Yeah.
are new, so it's exciting for us to play them. You know how it is.
Yeah.
And then we take what we consider to be the best of the rest of our songs. But we don't really play the songs from the 2 first album because they feel a bit like older style, a bit more guitar
Oh, yes.
rock
Okay.
rock songs. But we love them. But it's just we still didn't manage. And it's a discussion that we have very often. How could we include at least 2 of these songs, in the new set that is more electro, but electro rock,
Oh, here's something that I've just thought of. That was
Mhm.
released in 2005, right? Coming up to
Yeah.
2025 next year. That'll be 20 years for the EP. Why don't you do a set list of the EP?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've been thinking about this. We actually last year a friend of us was playing in a venue in Geneva, and he was this guy that we hang out a lot in 2005. So he was like, "Hey guys, don't you want to join me on stage and play 2 or 3 of your old songs?" So with the former band members of Stevans,
Right, right.
and so we did this, and we did this with the drummer, the bass player, and Jan. So 2 generation of Stevans mixing together, and it was great. It was great
Yeah.
because we were this power trio that we were back in 2005. Nothing changed, with our all the reflex, like, okay, now 1, 2, 3, okay, we know exactly. It's like there was only one day between the last time we played and then. And also Jan was the 4th member that finally we always missed, because he was bringing also his melodies, and also we need to think about this.
Yeah.
Thanks
That-
for
that-
suggesting.
That'd be awesome. And another
Yeah.
one of my favorite songs, "Playing." Do you still?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Is that a song that is not in the set list anymore, or is you just?
Oh, it
No.
is. It is.
Oh, it is in the set?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right.
And it's one of the 3 songs that this Rose Changxiang disco queen artist sing
Right.
every time she's on stage. There are 3 songs that she sings all the time when she does her concert. Is Vodka, Red Girls, Playing, and Fred Astaire. So
Right.
Playing is very easy song and happy song, and we definitely always play it. It's part of the songs that we definitely play always.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I wrote down here when I searched for Stefan on Google, I got Cat Stevens. So that's
Yeah,
enough.
man, don't tell me about it. Yeah.
And if you were able to go back to a teenage Yvan, what would you say to him? Stop smoking
I would
weed?
tell him. No, don't ever stop smoking. uh, maybe it is not a regret because I'm very happy about all the things. But maybe I would have said to the teenage, try to go to the United States for your musical career, or England.
Right. You've been there with Stefan?
Yeah, we've been there really in the beginning in England, but we didn't push that much because we thought, okay, England have so many bands like us. Why would they bother having another band like that from Switzerland?
Right. Yeah, right. And social medias, where can we find you and, of course, the band?
We're very more active on Instagram, a little bit TikTok, Facebook, of course, at Stevans Official. That's our name there. Yeah, I think that's about it. And of course, on Chinese social network, we are on the Red Book, Douyin, QQ, absolutely, NetEase.
And how do we find you?
Oh, it's Yvan Franel, YVAN, and then FRANEL. Yvan Franel.
Awesome. All right, final
Yeah.
part of. So first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
As of today, who are your top 2 or 3 favorite artists of all time?
Coldplay. Definitely, I love the evolution of this band that I follow since 1999, I think, the first album. U2, the Joshua Tree album, definitely
Yes.
one of my favorites. As always, Michael Jackson.
Oh, absolutely. What was the
Yeah.
first album that you ever bought? You paid for?
You mean not the one that I stole for I actually wonder if, because when we were living in Indonesia, there was a lot of like black market cassettes shops, so we were like,
Yes.
ooh. I don't know, maybe like a stupid compilation of R&B songs in the 90s, of pump the jam, pump it up while your feet are stomping. So it might have been a very basic
greatest
compilation. That was my first CD. Yeah.
Okay,
Greatest
great.
hits. Yeah.
2 or 3 favorite albums of all time.
Oasis. What's the Story? Morning Glory.
Morning Glory. Yes.
And maybe the first Stereophonics album called Word Gets Around that I listened so much. Yeah. And the Black Album of Metallica, of course, An Appetite for Destruction of Guns N' Roses. Come on, there's too many.
Films, movies.
Oh, it's going to sound cheesy, but definitely the Back to the Future 1, 2, 3.
You're reading my mind. I would say the same thing.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's just a dream. These movies, that's why I also love so much. And the Goonies, all these movies from the 80s.
Yes.
There was such a vibe. That's why Stranger Thing. I mean, the directors of Stranger Things, they're so good because they really use the codes that I love back then.
Your 3 favorite food cuisines.
Hot pot. That's
Chinese
food.
food.
The
Did you have
Chinese food in China.
Did you have the spicy hot pot in Chongqing or Chengdu?
Oh, we had all the hot pot possible. We had the mushroom hot pot. We had the duck head.
Oh yeah,
swimming in the hot pot. We had.
It's so true.
We had. Yeah.
Duck,
and I was like really.
Duck feet.
I swear to God. Oh yeah, but once there was this duck head watching me while I was eating my hot pot, and during the whole dinner, I was kind of sure that he was sending me a message and all.
Don't eat me.
Yeah. No, like you're gonna pay for it, and it was more like telling me you're gonna pay for it, and he was right because the day after I was on the toilet for the whole morning, so yeah. Yeah, and so without smoking pot, he was talking to me, so imagine how it was when I was smoking pot. I'm going to be a bit, I don't know if you can say chauvin, nationalist. It doesn't sound good, nationalist, but when I came back to my country, I had to have my raclette or my Swiss cheese fondue, because it had been 2 weeks and a half that I didn't eat this. So I said to my girlfriend, when I'm back, please
get it ready.
Get it ready. Get it ready, my cheese fondue,
I'm
so. Is there a typical Australian dish?
So when I go home, I want to have a hot pie, a meat pie with sauce, either a lamington. It just brings me back home, or a sausage roll. Okay, I'm home now. We have some real good wine down there as well, getting more and more popular down there. So.
Yes, we have some of your great wines in Switzerland as well.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Very nice.
Yeah. Very tasty, fruity wine, strong fruit wine. I don't know how you say.
Yeah, it's
easy wine, easy to drink. Yeah.
Yes. Who is your greatest inspiration or hero, and why?
I'm a big fan of Frank Sinatra. Again, it might sound a little bit. You know what I like about the guy? It's a funny. I'm a long story short. When I was a teenager living in Morocco, I was supposed to take a plane back to Switzerland, and it was in the 90s, so we didn't have like e-tickets, on our iPhones or stuff like this. We had the real ticket. And if you didn't have this real physical ticket, you could not take the plane. And I lost it. So I had to stay 3 more days in Casablanca in Morocco to get the next plane back to Geneva. So there was a friend of my mom who was there, and she kindly invited me to stay 3 days with her and her family. And in the friend's room where I was staying, there was a CD player with 3 CDs, and one of them was a Sinatra CD, Frank Sinatra live CD. And back in the time, I was listening to Metallica, Guns N' Roses, and Nirvana, And then I started to play this Frank Sinatra, and I directly, instantly became such a big fan. It was 2 or 3 years before he died,
Right.
In 95, I think. So since then, Sinatra is my when I feel sad, I listen to Sinatra. When I feel happy, I listen to Sinatra. When I go walk on the street, I listen to Sinatra. When I have a sexual intercourse with my girlfriend, I listen to Frank Sinatra. When I'm washing the dishes after my sexual intercourse, I listen to Sinatra still.
You're still listening to Sinatra. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what I like, a joke apart, about the guy is also that he was kind of mixing live music, and also he was joking on stage,
Yes.
There was this whole thing. And I would say, probably without knowing, I identify a bit myself on this part, because even if I'm a big fan of Oasis, I could never be like Liam Gallagher and just come and say "Focus," and just say "fucking toi," and that's the only word he would say to the audience. I need to have some connection and jokes. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So Frank Sinatra. We're definitely going to keep in touch, Craig,
definitely.
And share a stage.
All the best for the new single. You promote that as much as you can. I'll promote anything that you have. If you have a tour in China, please come to Australia.
So
now that the podcast, yes. I hope to see you very, very soon.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
She's a star, intergalactic, lighting up this night, so dramatic. Her eyes on me, straight through me. This girl's about to turn my key. And I said, hey, caught you looking my way. Are you for real or P.L.A.Y.I.N.G with me? Don't wanna fool around, no. Darling, is this love we found? But she says, and the girl's like, boy, you never met me, think you get me, just forget me, okay? Not gonna give it up for you. I thought you were a star, but from afar, close, no cigar, okay? I guess I'm giving it up on you. She's a gun, a loaded gun, a trigger, happy fun, provocation. I see that smile, her invitation hits me like a prison guard. I say, hey, is that gun pointing my way? Are you my shot? Oh, P.L.A.Y.I.N.G with me. If you're up to get down, girl, this body could be your playground. But she says, and the girl's like, boy, you never met me, think you get me, just forget me, okay? Not gonna give it up for you. I thought you were gonna bust some fun, but now I'm done, okay? I guess I'm giving up on you. Tired of talking about the way I feel. Don't need words for starting something real. But who's just walking to me as if they always knew me? A little wink and then a smile as we say, P.L.A.Y.I.N.G.